Yeah, and so how long roughly would an average image take you from like your idea or concept through to final image that you're happy to then present?
Yeah, it's a quite long process, I would say. It's hard to say exactly how long it takes because I mean, it sounds maybe silly, but it can sometimes be years even. But it doesn't have to maybe take years. It can take months. It can take weeks sometimes. But it really always starts with a sketch or a simple idea, and I always work on several projects in parallel. I have some images that I'm planning, some images that I already shot that I'm working on, and some images that I just have like rough ideas about. And usually it actually starts here behind me on this wall here, so I kind of like put up sketches. You can't really see it now because it's too small, I guess. But basically, it starts here. I put out the sketches, new ideas that I get all the time, and then I just let them sit there for a while. And the problem is, every time I come up with a new idea, I always feel like it's the best idea I ever had. But if you just let it sit for a while and then you come back to it, and then if you still consider it like interesting after a couple of weeks, I think then it maybe actually is an interesting idea. So it's always the fight with time, that you want to get started on everything, but you have to kind of leave it, and it usually makes a better result. So, but if I create around 10 new images every year, I would say that it's I guess roughly it takes about, I mean, on average then I guess 1-2 months to complete an image. But yeah, planning it takes the longest. Then photographing it can be fairly quick if you plan it well. And then if you photograph it well, the post work is also not necessarily that long, but I would say on average about a week of post work, and that's usually me sitting one day, just putting it roughly together, then leaving it for a while, coming back to it, and again giving it time to kind of. And when I don't know what to change anymore, I usually consider it done somehow, but it's very hard for me to know exactly when I'm done with something.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you ever always sit and think, with the attention to detail, and that is an image ever finished for you, or is there always something you can always find and tinker with?
I mean, the part of the process that I like the least would be like really like the end of it, when I don't really know if I'm done or not, and I have to like just zoom in, look at all the details, maybe like fix some small things. And sometimes I even just like, I have to change this, and then I do some bigger changes and I have to leave it again. But yeah, I guess when I don't know what to change anymore, and if I didn't look at it for a couple of weeks and then I come back to it and I kind of feel like, okay, this looks somehow right, that works well. I also like flipping the image horizontally. I guess a lot of people know about this trick as well. That's kind of the closest you can get to see an image for the first time. It usually, you notice like things that look weird very quickly, but usually I wait with flipping it until the almost very end, because sometimes I did it early on and then I kind of got used to seeing it both ways and it didn't work anymore, the trick.